welcome again to another episode. Today we want to dive deep into the dynamic world of professional experiences and technology advancements. Of course, I'm your host. My name is Chris Midamba, and today we have a special guest that rather special episode with a special guest, and we promise that it will be both insightful and inspiring. Karibu sana. Thank you so much for joining us. In this episode, of course, we will be exploring the multifaceted experiences of working abroad, delving into the transformative power of internet technology, discussing what strategies and strategies that have worked and which have not worked, and offering valuable advice on the ever-evolving world or field of artificial intelligence. My guest is Steve Opisa. Steve, how do I think that the best thing I can say is my guest today is a seasoned professional with wealth of experience spanning multiple countries and industries.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
How are you? And welcome. Maybe introduce yourself.
Thanks so much, Chris. Yes, as you've been told, my name is Steve. Yes, that's a very elaborate introduction you've given there about me. So, I'll put it short. I'm an IT professional currently working in Australia, and initially, I was working in Kenya. So basically, I've had experience working in IT in Kenya and also in Australia. So I'll put my work experience to more than 12 years, I'll say, because I graduated in 2011 and I started actually working the same year, 2011. So basically, yeah, so from 2011 to 2024, I'll say that is, kind of 13 years. Yep. So it's been quite a long time.
What field are you like in the IT? I know IT. I know you will tell me IT is very wide.
Yeah.
But probably maybe if you break it down to what specific field did you major in?
Okay, sure. So basically, I'll put my background into perspective, just to start from where it all began.
Yes,
So that at least we were able to understand where I'm coming from and where I am, so how that correlates to each other. So I'll say basically, I finished high school in Kenya, and was a bit conflicted on what to do in campus. So I know my parents wanted me to do medicine, and I didn't like going to the hospital for just one reason or another. I just didn't like being among sick people. So it was like, if I was to do medicine, it was not something that I will love doing it. So, and through that, it was like, now what profession will I do? Engineering, law, or what? So in the process, because of that, I was like, what should I do? And through that, I used to watch programs on TV. So basically, these programs on TV were more about the CSIs, if you know 24 CSI, there's about criminal investigation. So I used to wonder how someone will go into computer and then search someone's name and they get the details, and they're able to track a criminal and arrest them using technology. So for me, that fascinated me. I wanted to understand why, what happens, what is the connection between technology, what's this that's working behind the scene to get these programs to get this output, or you can put in some details and it generates a lot of information and all that. So I needed to understand the issues of database where information is stored and all that. So that drew my interest into actually IT. And to take it back, actually, my interest in IT started not even before, I'll say before high school. I remember in class 8, our headmaster then had a collaboration with a Swedish school, and then in the process, we were donated computers. So that when we were given the computers, we could see and type our names, and you see a computer and then typing your name and you seeing your name on the screen. That was something that fascinated me. I was like, oh, I wanted to know how computers work. Unfortunately, in high school, we didn't have computer studies. Some high schools had, but not all in Kenya. So it's very few high schools had computers as studies, like as a subject to study. So that was something that intrigued me. And then adding into perspective, now these things from the programs that you are watching and all that. So that made me like want to study computers and study IT and all that. So when I went and changed my course, I studied computer science, and then I got admission to the University of Nairobi to do computer science. So where I did computer science, and then in the process of that, during my third year, I got to go for an exchange program to Stanford University. And that opened my mind as well, because we went to now the big tech companies. We visited Google, Apple, and Facebook. And to just see now being in the tech world, being in those walking around and seeing YouTube there, seeing Yahoo, Cisco, like you're in that the Silicon Valley, still continue to draw that motivation and inspiration for me in this field. And that's what cemented my journey in IT. And I actually went and understood there's a difference between IT and computer science.
Oh,
So
okay.
IT is a study of how computers work. But computer
Okay.
science is a study of how computers work and why they work that way.
The reason behind working.
The reason behind working that is you're looking at the programs, you're looking at the operating system, you're looking at the memory, and looking at addressing system, and looking why it's 32-bit, why 64-bit addressing system. You're looking at the machine language. You're looking at those kind of things. So those are the things that we learned in computer science. So you have to just understand the in-depth of what is an algorithm, understand why programs behave the way they behave, and all that. Yep. So
All
that
right.
is how my journey went. And then after that, got employed. And there's a lot that came into perspective after that period of time. Yep.
Okay. Very good background. But now let's jump
Yeah.
from there to
Yeah.
Australia, working abroad. What were some of the biggest, maybe if I can say, cultural adjustment that you had to make when you moved abroad, as far as your work is concerned?
Yeah, so I'll now again give like a background of why actually I'm in Australia. So yes, it's not IT that brought me to Australia; it's marriage that brought me to Australia. So I got married. I married in 2019, and then after that, now the journey to come into Australia began. So at that time, I was working at. So when I finished uni, I joined DHL as an intern and grew up from an intern to infrastructure engineer to IT service delivery manager. So by the time I was leaving, I was in this position of an IT service delivery manager in charge of East Africa. So I had people reporting
To
to
you
me,
as a
in
manager.
Kenya as a manager. In Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania. So at that time, you were like among the people helping drive the IT strategy. Like we decide what system we're going to implement in the next coming year, like doing the budgeting and all that. So it was like a managerial position in a way. And then now coming to Australia now that is the culture shock that came in. Because I thought with
Yeah.
my experience now with from Kenya, I'll come send my CV out there and I'll get a job the next minute. Shock on me, that wasn't the case. So, because when I came, but I had that passion and desire that I'll need still to work in my field. I know when someone comes here, there's a lot of jobs. Like people don't care what job you do, so long as you earn. And that's the
Yeah,
thing.
as
It's
long as
not
you can
about,
put food on the table
as long as you can put
and
food, if you become an Uber driver, if you work in disability, aged care,
mm,
every job is
mm,
important so long as you are able to put food on the table.
yeah,
And that's the thing.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I came, for me was like, I wanted to go into my field. I wanted to, because I was like, I've actually invested a lot, studies and that experience. I was like, it can't just go away like that. And
Mm, mm,
so I came and I tried and applied. So I was just applying for like entry level position because I knew I couldn't get a position, the same position that I was in Kenya. No way. I was like, it was hard because first of all, number
yeah.
one, I don't have Australian experience. Number two, I haven't studied in Australia.
Mm,
So those are the things that like were working to my disadvantage because I didn't have like, it's not like people who came and did masters here and then went for
mm,
to get a job. So they had like Australian education to back them up, but I didn't have any. So when I started by like applying any job and all that, and sometimes get interviews and then in the process I actually learned, oh, I need to tailor my CV to the market that is here. So it took a bit of
mm,
time. And because I came in during COVID, so there was lockdown, the companies were not hiring and all that. So there was a bit of a shutdown in hiring. And because a lot of companies had gone fully remote, no one was
mm,
going to the office. There was restrictions and here and there. So hiring was like frozen for most companies. So took a bit of time
mm.
and still continue to look at jobs in LinkedIn and continue applying from Seek and all that. And finally, there's one job I got actually, and it was a good job.
You got
Like
it through LinkedIn or Seek or
it
Indeed
was
or
through LinkedIn. It was through LinkedIn. I applied, was called
mm,
for an interview, first interview. I went for like a second interview. It was basically to be a systems engineer
mm,
with a company that deals with like SMS and services for
mm,
organizations. So um, I went through all the interviews. I actually got a verbal offer and all that. So it was issue about to sign a
mm,
contract, and I was ready to start.
mm,
Unfortunately, when they asked for my visa, I sent my visa, and my visa was like still on student visa because I was on a dependent student visa. So at
mm.
that time, the primary applicant's visa condition applies to the secondary applicant. So basically,
Yeah. Mm,
because Pauline was actually doing a bachelor's, so basically, there's no way I could have full work rights. So even I told them like, okay, can I work just maybe for 3 days, then I be employed on a part-time contract, part-time permanent,
mm,
like work for 3 days,
mm,
so I can just work for those 20 hours a week that they need,
mm,
but they refused. They are like, and I actually went and told them that the government had actually lifted restriction in working hours, and still
mm,
they couldn't give me a job. Like, unfortunately, now we can't proceed because
mm,
our lawyers have said we can't proceed, and
mm,
I was devastated. I was saddened, but again, I had a hope. Like, I was like, actually, I can get a job. So the problem is not me. The problem was the
mm,
visa. The visa was the problem, not me. So basically, that means I can still get a job. Yeah, so that's the thing. So
mm,
I went and waited until Pauline finished school, and that's at least now we were planning to go to the 485 visa. At least now that at that time I had full working rights and I applied for jobs, and that's where I got my first job as an IT operations engineer for Zella. For that, Zella is a fintech here in Melbourne. So
mm,
basically, yeah. So I got a job, and then after that, I worked for 1.5 years and then moved to the local government, as a security engineer because I wanted to branch fully into cybersecurity.
mm,
Yeah, I worked at the local government here in Melbourne, the Council of Stonington. I worked for like 6 months. And then after that, I moved again now to my current workplace, office work. So that's where I am as a security operations engineer. So that has been my journey. Yeah. So the culture shock,
Oh.
I'll say, was the expectation that I will actually get at the same level I was. But I realized I actually had to start from somewhere, and it wasn't easy. Like our overseas experience is a bit sometimes not it's not recognized as such, but I'll
Yeah.
say yeah, it's a bit harder because you're actually competing with those who've been here, those who studied
Mm-hmm.
here, those who've been born here, those who came here as skilled migrants. Yeah, so there's a bigger pool of
Mm-hmm.
skilled professionals that you're competing with, not who are Chinese, Indians, Filipinos, and all that.
So,
So
in your application, did you ever quote probably the places you have worked in Kenya or any other country as well, or you had to kind of restructure your CV to be kind of an entry level?
no,
Or
I didn't restructure my CV to be an entry level. I just maintained my CV the way it was. Just one knows that I have the
mm,
experience. Like I've worked for this number of years, and yeah, I have the experience. So
mm,
I just went to that because even my former company DHL have offices here, but it took a bit of time to actually get them to start a process here. And
mm.
when the process started, uh, I was to like
You had already
move to
moved on.
Sydney. No, I'm not moved on. I'll say like they wanted me to move to Sydney, and Pauline was
Oh, okay.
studying here, and because Sydney is where like the head office is, and that's where the like corporate office is, and that's where my role will have been, and
Mm,
it will have been a bit difficult. I think if it was about around this time that we are in, I could have, because at least now most companies are recruiting remotely. At that time, remote
mm.
work wasn't a thing. It was just because of COVID thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So people didn't know there was going to be like a hybrid working from home
Mm.
kind of. It came afterwards. So that is what was the challenge. And then I was like, okay, let me try this at the end and see how my journey goes. Yeah, how my life will span out.
So, working in a foreign country,
Yeah.
how has this impacted your professional development and career opportunities? Has it in any way had some impact on it, or what?
Yeah, definitely it has some impact. I got to actually learn that there was a lot of things I wish I knew earlier. There's a lot of things I wish I'd done earlier, which could have
Mm,
actually helped me in the sense, especially in relation to getting professional certification. That is something that I wish I'd done earlier, because that helps. Because you see, that cuts across different domains, and
mm,
it cuts across different fields of IT, different organizations, and all that. So just having a bachelor's degree isn't enough on a sense. Getting a
mm,
professional certification is actually ends, because you're getting a certification in an application, for example, or in a domain or in an area, like you are being like a subject matter expert in one field or something like that.
mm,
So, for
okay.
example, if you get certification in cybersecurity, like a certified information security professional, that is, you are certified, because now that means
Mm,
you understand all the security domains and all that, because that is a focused learning.
mm,
So it's yeah. So those are the things that actually shaped me, and actually I understood, like, actually you need to actually uh do much, because
mm,
here it's a bit more not about what you can do, not about actually like the papers as such, because you may have a master's, and if you can't deliver, if you can't do what you are asked to do,
mm,
that's what they'll measure. Because
mm,
I've been in a situation where you have people who are maybe higher than you, but they had Cert 4. And it's because they had experience that they have gained through that role, which actually makes them qualify because they can do the job at that level.
Just a moment. You've had people who have certificate 4 who
Yep.
are ahead of you in your career, and you with bachelors.
Yep.
So in other words, they value experience more than really the papers or what?
Yeah, they value experience more. And even if you look at very like a bit of in IT is more of experience. A lot of this, like if you look at these big companies, you look at, you'll see most of this company was started by college dropouts like Bill Gates, like Microsoft, like, because IT is about, about this, your mind. You can have the papers, you can, because you see, like we've had this situation where people have gotten papers for the sake of getting papers.
Yeah,
So
yeah, true.
it's the knowledge that you have that matters at the end of the day. Can you do that? Can you have that? Because if that's what I'm saying, certification is important because someone can be Cert 4, he has a professional certification in these fields that we are talking about. He's a certified network engineer from Cisco. That means he is able to operate Cisco appliances at a professional level. He's a pro in Cisco appliances. He's been tested and certified. But you in the bachelor, because you've just learned the general things. But this person learned now the details about the products that we're using.
The specific.
Yeah, the specific. You get, for example, maybe you're certified in Microsoft Azure. And then Microsoft Azure is something that you are taught in school. You're taught just about cloud computing as holistically as a general thing. But this is actually Azure is now for Microsoft or AWS, Amazon Web Service. This is now particular about that product. That's where the you know the security of the product, you know everything configuration, you know all those details. So you with that general knowledge and someone who has the specific knowledge about the product, the person with the specific knowledge of the product will actually stand out by default.
I think I'm considering my options of venturing into the IT industry. But anyway, let's get into the other nitty-gritty part of this conversation.
Yep.
Number one, what excites you most about the current development in artificial intelligence?
So basically, artificial intelligence has been there for quite some time. And I'll just want to bring to you some news that has come out today. There's a company called NVIDIA. Yeah, NVIDIA. NVIDIA is a chip manufacturing company. And today its value has hit $3 trillion. NVIDIA has overtaken Apple as the second most not profitable, like valuable company in the world below Microsoft. So it's Microsoft, NVIDIA, and then Apple. And the reason why NVIDIA, because NVIDIA, 2 years back in 2020, they were valued at $114. It was less, almost $100, $100 billion. So they were valued, they have grown, I'll say.
Yeah.
And the reason why, to $3 trillion. The reason why this is the case is in 2016, the NVIDIA CEO, it's called Jansen. It's called Jansen. Someone. So going the second name is it's a Chinese name, Jansen. So the NVIDIA CEO he went to OpenAI in 2016, and what he did, he gave them this a supercomputer because they were developing some chips, like very powerful chips, and with that they developed a chip that, because OpenAI had started researching in AI out how we can AI can be something that can be useful for the future in 2016, and they gave them this computer and this chip. So with that chip had I'll say the higher super processing power to be able to run artificial intelligence. And with that, OpenAI used those chips to actually develop ChatGPT. You get? So that's when
Okay.
ChatGPT came up. So AI became the buzzword. So the demand for chips from NVIDIA became big. Microsoft locked in demands
Yeah.
for the chips from NVIDIA. Apple, Google, all these companies started locking up. So their value went
Has
up,
grown.
has grown up because now there's so much demand, and they're the only company making chips for AI. Because AI require those specific chips, and because of it's like in IT, what happens is if you have like a product, it becomes which is like a niche, it becomes your IP, intellectual property. So basically, you are the only ones who know how to make that thing, unless someone tries to make it another thing, like something almost similar. So because of that, they are the only company that were doing that, and that means their value grew, and it's grown up to $3 trillion. So that's the thing. So there's the demand for AI services. Every company is trying to incorporate AI into their products, into their applications, and all that. So like for now, even Samsung launched S24 with AI. Next week,
I
Apple
can't
is
hear
going
you again.
to.
All right, you're back. You're back.
So next week, Apple is.
No,
I
you're
was
back. Let's
saying.
continue. Yeah.
I was saying. Samsung launched their S24 phones with AI. So that was the thing, because like it's something that was like a very revolutionary kind of a thing, where you can speak to someone who is speaking Japanese, and then when the conversation comes to you, it will be
Yeah.
translated into English, and you speak to English, and then translate
To the language you understand, English. Yeah.
yeah. So that was the thing. It was a selling point. In fact, that actually grew Samsung sales for the first quarter.
Yeah.
And then Apple is now doing the same thing. Apple has actually partnered with OpenAI to incorporate that AI into Siri. So they are in fact, next week on Monday the 10th, Apple is going to announce this in their worldwide developer conference, how they are building the next AI in Siri. So like they want Siri to be
Fonts. Oh,
more
in series. So
conversational.
it will be, will it be more in the updates or just based on the new
Yeah, it will
fonts
be more in
already
the
coming out?
update, but unfortunately, they're saying like that update will only come to iPhone 15
Steve, I've
Pros,
lost you
and
there.
then iPhone 16. Yeah, so it will
Sorry,
come to the.
I didn't hear you well. Maybe if you can repeat the question. Yep. You can repeat the
Uh,
answer, rather.
okay, so what I'm saying is, what Apple will do is, probability you're going to launch this with the next iPhone 16. So it will be a software update, but it will come with iPhone 16 Pros, and can only support up to iPhone 15. So it will cause people to upgrade to the next iPhone if they want to use the AI. And that's the reason why, ask yourself, that's the reason why when the new iPads were launched, the iPad Pro moved from an M2 chip to M4. They didn't go to M3. It's because they needed to have a chip that can support AI, the
Oh,
latest chip.
okay.
Yeah, so because they're going to launch like AI services and all that, so that's what has come. So AI has become like a big buzzword. So that
I see.
AI has been there. It's just now what has grown is what we call the large language models. So basically,
Okay.
whatever we've been searching, it's just that it becomes so faster to search and give an answer.
But now, maybe just to ask you a question. I know that there has been this worry AI is taking over, rendering people jobless. Do you think AI will do what I'm doing right now? Will AI render me jobless or what? I just want to be sure so that I can
Yeah,
look ahead
that
and see if I can divert to other things as well.
true. Let me tell you, like AI is going to actually not take other people. It's
Mm,
going to enhance people's work. We'll be in a situation
mm,
where an AI can do an audio podcast. You just hear it,
mm,
knows your voice, and is able to actually uh, ask questions as Chris because it learns your voice, and someone else the other side responds. So maybe you are doing something
but
else,
but
but
don't
yeah,
but don't you think security wise that will be a serious concern that we should think about?
yeah, it's something that governments are actually trying to see, like to have what is called responsible AI. So this is something that is uh, it's something that's being worked on because we've had a
Mm-hmm.
situation where we have AI. There's an AI called Warm GPT. It's called Warm GPT.
Mm-hmm.
Warm GPT is an AI to help hackers develop phishing emails and malware to infect a computer. So it can develop for you a malware that which you can send to infect other people's computer to steal their details. So it's there. It is in the
So
dark web. Warm
in
GPT.
the in the in the whatever, how can I say, in the
Uh,
vast majority or the benefits that AI comes with,
hello,
and also there are other the
hello.
negative effects of it as well. The Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, I can hear you now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear. I
I'm
can hear you.
saying the vast benefits that the AI comes with. They're also under. There are also other very serious concerns and the negative, actually negative effects that uh, are also hidden or hiding under it.
Yep. Yeah, there are negative things, and that's why you see a lot of these AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini. Yeah, what I'm saying is a lot of these AI tools, ChatGPT, Gemini, Meta AI, Cloud AI, Copilot, and all that. These tools have been
Mm-hmm.
like configured in the sense to be able to like detect some things which are not appropriate. So, for example, there's something that you can ask which is
Mm-hmm.
proprietary. It will not give you an answer. For example, just ask tries, maybe type and ask a lyrics
Mm-hmm.
for a song in ChatGPT. It will tell you I cannot do that. It cannot tell you the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that is copyrighted stuff. Though you can search the lyrics on Google and get, but they
Mm-hmm.
won't. The AI won't give you the lyrics.
Yeah.
It's yeah. So there are things that so there are measures
Mm-hmm.
being put in place by these companies to operate in a way that is acceptable, a way that is appropriate. Uh, yeah. So that's what's happening
Mm-hmm.
because we've had the issues of deep fake. We've known the story about our company lost $25 million because of deep fake. And we've had so much deep fake. Even yesterday, I saw a deep fake
Mm-hmm.
where someone was going live, and then it shows that Elon Musk is addressing Tesla shareholders, and it's not Elon. It's there's the video is Elon Musk, but it's AI generated. If you look at how AI, Elon is
Mm-hmm.
telling people to need to invest in this crypto coins, and it's live. And then what the person did is disabled comments, so you couldn't nobody could comment. But it looked like you could actually tell now this
Mm-hmm.
is deep fake. Or what people do is they take a news article and then maybe Channel 9 and they say, oh, Channel 9 reports news that, oh, we need to invest on Elon Musk has developed something like
Yeah,
that.
I've
They
seen
need
them.
to, yeah, you've
I've
seen
seen
them.
them.
Yeah, those are the
Yeah.
thing. That's the deep fake. Like that's AI. Like you put a news and it gives the same voice like the news anchor. It's like a report, but you try
Yeah,
to
I've been. Now that has answered my question. I've been wondering how are these people able to do that? So it is the deepfake thing.
Yeah, it's a different thing. Yeah, you try
But
to generate.
sadly, they are luring many people and really misleading many people into such things. And I think people are losing
Yeah,
their
yeah.
money as well.
Yeah, and that's the reason why cybersecurity is key. Every day we're being told that to be on the watch because like
Mm.
systems are becoming smarter, but people are becoming also smarter. The problem is not the system. The problem is people. A system will only do what you tell it to
People.
do.
Mm.
Yeah, more
It
than
is
people
manipulating the
because
system.
people are manipulating the system. People are trying to be the system. So that is what is actually happening. So we had these deepfakes stories for
Mm.
quite some time. Yeah. So there was this news anchor in the US who had the passport details sent across because someone used deepfake to actually
Mm.
call the assistant and ask, I have forgotten my passport. Can you send me the passport? Blah, blah, blah. And the person was like, yeah, that is the voice of Chris. This is
Ooh.
the voice of the person, the news anchor. And actually sent that.
What?
Yeah, so and that's why like sometimes you're told to have several factor of authentication, multi-factor authentication. Maybe someone calls you
Mm.
out of normal, which is a normal thing. You say like, okay, let me double check.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah,
I see. I see.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. So those are the potential risk. I actually the risk,
Yep, yep.
the or ethical considerations that are associated with AI, and that I believe we are always or we should always be aware of. Like, what are some of the practical ways the professionals can start, for those who have not started yet, can start integrating AI into their work?
Okay. So basically,
And I know AI might not be integrated in all the kind of professions, maybe.
what we have currently is AI as a service. So basically, there are those things that you need integration and all that. Those are things that you need to have a paid up service because you see, if you use ChatGPT,
Mm.
you know there's a premium version, there's a paid version, there's an enterprise version. So you have to go to the paid version. So with that, it's able to like actually get for you what is called an API, an application programming interface.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, that is that an API that allows you to connect your system, whatever system that you have, to like to the AI service, so that AI can do whatever um, the AI chatbot or the AI service you subscribe to can do what you want it to do. So basically, like for example, Zoom has an AI service where it's when you're on a Zoom call, it summarizes the meeting for you. So you just talk, and then at the
Mm.
end of the call, it summarizes the points of the meeting of discussion, and you just share. You don't need to have to be writing down
Hmm.
the notes and all that. Yeah, even Teams
Wow,
has
wow.
that. Yeah. So
So
yeah.
is
So
yeah, yeah. So in the next maybe 5 to 10 years, do you see AI impacting your industry?
no, yeah, nope. Because for us, we'll need to be there to be able to do the security of these services. Because you still need human intervention. AI will summarize
Mm.
for you an incident, but you will need still to double check, because AI is not 100%. It's still learning. We want AI to be as human
Mm-hmm.
as possible, but you see, like that's why you realize ChatGPT launched GPT-4, where you could speak to it and it answers. But that was in the test environment, but they haven't launched it publicly because there's still
Mm-hmm.
work to be done, because the people, when they launch publicly, they want to be something that is working. But they're giving a preview of what
Mm-hmm.
that thing is supposed to do. So that's the thing. That's the reason
Mm-hmm.
why it's still work in progress. And that's why even like Siri is an assistant which uses natural language processing, which is part of the AI. But sometimes if you ask Siri something,
Mm-hmm.
Siri responds something different. Like it's so still not intelligent as
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so they're
Yeah.
improving. They're still improving. They're not there yet, but they still have a lot to do to be actual. So a human has to still review the answer. Like yesterday, it was yesterday or the other day. I was just asked. There was something that was people were joking about with ChatGPT. So we were asking ChatGPT to say how many R's are there in the word raspberry. How many R's and then in the
Mhm.
word raspberry? And ChatGPT was saying two R's. And like actually it's three ads. But it's three ads, but he's saying two ads. And we are like to show just that there's a lot of time these models get things wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
have to know
Yeah.
what you're looking at. You know, don't need to trust them
Mhm.
100%. They're able to help work easier, but most of the time you have done it, I've been at work with code and all that. Sometimes I do, and it
Mhm.
gives me things which are not working, and I actually had to correct it. I was like, "Oh, sorry." And you tell you, "Oh, sorry, let me revise that." It gives you an idea, but you need to know what you are actually looking for, what you actually want, and all of them are different. If you try all the AI chatbots, if you type the same question to ChatGPT, to Meta AI, to Google Gemini, or to Copilot, each and every AI
Mhm.
service will give you a different answer.
Different answer.
Yeah, so they
Oh.
interpret a
Mhm.
same question differently. They give different answer with
Mhm.
different sources. So it's up to you to look at which answer actually aligns
Mhm.
to the question that you'd ask or what you've been expecting as an answer.
I tell you. I tell you. Anyway, I think my last question will be
Yep.
how do you recommend staying informed about the latest advancements and opportunities in AI?
Okay. So there are lots of AI, not AI, IT blog posts, news channels. So like I subscribe to them those channels on WhatsApp, like TechCrunch, TechRadar, Verge, and all that. So PC
Mhm.
World, yeah. So Bleeping Computer. So there are a number of those news outlets for IT and technology. So that's where I actually get updated to know what's happening. Also
But don't
subscribing
you
to some
think AI is
channels.
taking over, and probably those news outlets won't really that be that credible? Maybe in the near future, because now AI is taking over, and it's very hard also to know whether which one is which is the right one or not, or
Oh,
which
okay.
is the
So the
wrong one.
news, you see, depends on which. You asked about the news concerning IT and AI. So those news will still report what that's about IT. So they'll report what's happening, what's
Hmm.
coming up, what is the news, what is being worked on, and all that. So they still have to report. They'll still be
Hmm.
there. Yeah, it's just those
Hmm.
news. No, even those news sources are actually using AI to actually spin out news at a faster rate than they used to. Yeah, to write articles
Hmm.
faster, and that's why you get sometimes. If you look at some articles that are published on those news articles, you're like, oh, this one looks like, hey, this wasn't proofread by an editor because this looks more like an AI generated and something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, the world
So
out there, mostly probably those are maybe majority of the world out there. They might really not know what document has been generated by the AI or not.
yeah,
It takes
yeah.
time. It takes commitment to really scrutinize and be aware of the dispensation that we are at right now, the AI dispensation. Anyway, thank you
Yeah.
so much, Steve.
Yeah.
I don't know whether
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
any parting shot.
Yeah, sure. What I can say is that a lot of people, even it was just yesterday, they do. Some people did not know what something called Meta AI. They were like, "What's this in WhatsApp?" There's something in WhatsApp called Meta AI. They have never used it. They don't know what that is, and they don't
Mhm.
bother, like, because that's the thing. They don't know what that is. And I'm like, you can just use that to search. Then you can search on Google. Oh, really? And you chat it, and you're like, oh, okay, that's the thing. So it's people don't know what a lot of people are ignorant in a way, but it's just for us to like educate people and to people to understand and to know. the dangers and the things that are coming up and all that. So it's good. It's good. You can use it for your benefit. You just making sure like it's just part of making your work easier. Those are things. So look at AI just as an assistant to make your work easier, but not to replace your work or to make you lazy not to do the work you're supposed to do. Yeah,
I think that's the best point to wrap this episode up. That AI is just there to help you make your work easier and not to replace you, unless you look at it the other way around. But anyway, we hope you have found our conversation this evening with Steven Opisa as enlightening and inspiring as I did. And I don't know what else to say, but I just want to say thank you so much for joining, and keep it here every time we do record this, and we'll always be sharing with you and trying to also as well to educate one another. If you have enjoyed this episode, remember to please make sure to subscribe. They don't want to say that. Subscribe, like, share. But anyway, thank you so much for joining. It has been very, very nice. Thank you so much, Steve, for as well joining.
Okay, thanks so much.